Good morning. Heidi Foy here with Bullfrog Creatives. I can tell you that this group is feeling froggy this morning. See what I did there? And we have so many things to talk about. Welcome. I have lost track of what day it is, but I'm pretty sure we're doing round 7. NFR Hangover is back at you, and I'm not going to take too much time because, man, there's a lot to talk about. Stay tuned. All right, I'm not even, okay, I do have to do this. Thank you to Cinch Jeans and Shirts for our partnership through Bullfrog Creatives and the NFR Hangover. And real quickly, after this broadcast, we're going to do a special edition. You guys can join me if you would like to. I mean, Garrett, you can too if you want. We're going to actually have a little conversation with a vendor that's set up at the Working Ranch Expo, Con Williams and Williams Studio Inc. After this, around 11. So depending on how long we chat here, then we'll go into that one. But we're going to talk about process and bronzing. And if you guys, this is your first time watching, if you're in Vegas and you mention Bullfrog Creatives to Williams Studio, you will get 10% off. So there is something in it for you. Glad we could help. All right, let's get right into this. There is so much. I got a pin today. I'm taking notes. There's so much going on in the Facebook world and all the armchair cowboys this morning about some things that happened last night. So you guys tell me where you want to start. Oh, maybe introducing your guest.
I need to plug Garden City Community College Rodeo Team.
Yes.
I didn't ask to do this, but
you got tricked into it. It's okay.
And I also want to, since I'm the Kansas High School Rodeo president, I want to plug Farm Bureau Financial Services and Farm Bureau Insurance. They are a huge sponsor. There's like 45, 50 agents across the state of Kansas who each support Kansas High School Rodeo, and it helps us be able to put on a tremendous finals at an awesome facility at the Kansas Star Arena at the Mulvane at the casino there, which is a Boyd gaming facility. But anyhow, I want to give a shout out to them and Rob Wareham. He's a former parent of a contestant, and so anyhow, he goes out and helps us solicit that each year, and so I want to give a shout out to Farm Bureau Financial Services and Farm Bureau Insurance, and one of our faithful listeners, Shane Bowman, who says this is the best hangover. This is the only hangover you'll ever enjoy. He told me last night, he says, you need to give a shout out to your sister's little joint. So my sister in Canadian Texas has what's called the Cat's Paw. And it's not like the Cat's Paw in Bozeman, Montana.
It's not the one we know.
No, okay. But it's like a 20 by 40 foot building. It's a very small little building. It's right there by all the little schools in Canadian. And it's only open during the school year, and lots of kids go eat breakfast and lunch there. Well, during the Canadian has its big 4th of July rodeo. And so Shane was there judging last year. And so my sister, they have the parade. The parade goes right by there. Well, then my sister has a little, she feeds Medicine River Rodeo, that my friend Mike, who puts on the rodeo, and the judges and personnel and everybody that come eat and have a great time. He's like, man, that's an awesome little place to hang out on a warm afternoon in Canadian Texas, 4th of July. So anyhow, had to give a plug there. Now, it's an important part. I wanted to introduce our guest here. His name is Garrett Yerigan, in case you don't know or haven't heard him. If you haven't heard him, you probably haven't been to too many rodeos around recently. But, whether it be on the computer, TV, or there at the arena, but he was recently named the announcer of the year against some big, huge names. And I want to say, and you can tell me, Garrett, who was just up on stage with the other night, but I'm pretty sure I know who was the most surprised person in the room.
That'd be this guy. Definitely this guy.
So tell us a little bit about who you're up against, and tell us a little bit about your story.
So standing on the stage the other night, it was obviously myself, Will Rasmussen, Wayne Brooks, Randy Corey, and Bob Tallman. So pretty dang good company to keep up there. And yeah, first year to even be nominated and then to win the award was it was surreal. And I never saw that one coming from a mile away. So definitely made it pretty sweet. That like I said, that's a legendary group to just be a part of. So very blessed in that regard. But yeah, so I've been announcing. Oh, geez. I did my first full rodeo when I was 12. I did an IPRA rodeo in Butler, Missouri. And then I started doing slack at rodeos when I was about 6 or 7, just because my mom and dad were always going, competing and stuff. Dad steer wrestler, mom barrel racer. And so I've been around it since I was 2 weeks old. And growing up, I knew that I wasn't going to be worth a darn competing. So I figured out that those who can't do, teach. Those who can't teach, talk about it. I couldn't do or teach. So picked up a microphone and loved it. Wouldn't trade it for the world. And here we are, 2021, and blessed to win PRCA's Announcer of the Year.
Now,
that's awesome.
The first time I heard Garrett was at a college rodeo in Claremore.
Oh, yeah.
University used to have a rodeo team, and they put on a good little rodeo there. Did you just do the slack or help with the perfs? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I know I did the music at the performances, and then I think I announced the slacks.
And how old would you have been at that time?
Ooh, man.
I don't even know that you were in high school, just junior high.
No, maybe. Yeah. I'm trying to remember exactly what year. I'm thinking it was around 2008-ish. And I'd have been 14 then. So yeah.
That's crazy. So we do have a lot of fans on Bullfrog Creatives and on this platform, NFR Hangover, that maybe are new to the sport of rodeo or new to PRCA. So how does one get nominated for a title like that? And how do they pick the winner?
So the cool thing about this award, just like the Bullfighter of the Year or Clown of the Year, stuff like that. Yeah. So there are certain parameters we have to meet to be eligible for the award. We have to work minimum of 8 PRCA rodeos with a total of 20 PRCA rodeo performances. Then once you meet those requirements, you become, it's kind of just referred to as NFR eligible, because that's the same requirements to apply for the NFR. So once you're NFR eligible, you go on the first round voting ballot. And that goes out to every card holding eligible PRCA member, announcers, all contract personnel, committees, contractors, everybody, contestants, everybody. And then the top 5 vote getters from the first round of voting, we come back usually about 2 weeks later, and we vote again, kind of the short list is what that's called. And so from there, you obviously, that you've made the top 5, you're going to get to go on stage. And then once we vote that second time, it's a waiting game. So like that usually all happens about the start of October, once the regular season ends. So first week of October, we do the first round of voting. We take a week off while they kind of refigure the top 5, come back the next week, vote on the top 5, and we sit and wait till early December, last day of November or whatever it falls. So it's a little bit of a nerve-wracking waiting game, but I guess, hey, it's worth it.
Okay, so you announced the back number ceremony the other night, and oh my gosh, that was like doing an auctioneer, auction for a full day. I mean, it was
yeah.
And
I felt like I didn't take a breath for an hour and 20 minutes.
So what else are you doing out there?
So let's rewind. I did the welcome reception last Tuesday. Obviously was at the banquet Wednesday. I announced Stay Smith's Bronx Futurity finale Friday morning, and then starting Thursday and every day since, I host a mechanical bull riding at 12 o'clock noon out here for Cinch Jeans and Shirts in their booth at the RMEF Hunter Outdoor Christmas Expo, which is upstairs in the Las Vegas Convention Center. So, this is a humbling sport. You win an Announcer of the Year one night, and the next day you're announcing a mechanical bull ride.
Oh, I love it.
And then I've been on a couple shows. I was on Flint's Outside the Barrel show Sunday, I think. Monday or Tuesday, I was on Rump Chat. All the days are running together out here. I barely know
feel that.
Yeah, I don't even know which way the sun comes up anymore. But
what's funny and what makes me feel so much better about this platform is I feel like we're getting the same guests on here to talk a little bit more unedited, perhaps. Yeah. So that's awesome. We appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, once we had Rump on, and then Luke's debacle yesterday. Yeah, it's all gravy now. Everything's up.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Apparently, the funniest part was watching Luke try to get on.
That's everybody's text me. Your brother is really electronically troubled. Like, no, my brother's just troubled in general, and yeah.
I think he was having a rough morning anyways.
Yeah, I showed my mom the screenshot of the picture. She goes, "He did that for the show you guys did?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "So proud of him. So proud of him."
So how many years have you been involved with the junior high and high school finals?
2014 was the first year that I announced the National Junior High Finals in Des Moines. I've been there ever since doing the Rough Stock Arena. I went to the high school finals for the Rain Cowhorse Arena. 2 or 3 times, I think. I had to give it up this past year to do Cheyenne, but still a huge advocate. Yeah, I know. Still a huge advocate for high school rodeo. I mean, I'm a firm believer that junior high all the way to high school, it's the starting block for our sport. And that's what I love so much about the junior high finals is, I was watching some of the Wright boys before people even knew who they were. Coming through junior high and high school rodeo and stuff. So it's cool to get to watch rodeo on its kind of basic level. I mean, it's the ground floor.
And I can say that this past summer, I was sitting around the campfire with some personnel folks one night, one being Boyd Paul Hamus. And
I've heard of that guy.
Yeah. And nothing was held back, nothing was edited in this, little BS session. And he made the comment that the world better look out for you.
Thank you.
He spoke very highly of you. And this was before Cheyenne, when I think that's probably, you'd probably say that was maybe your big breakout.
I agree. Yep.
That would be, just the preparation and the difference. That'd be such a different rodeo to announce. But on the other hand, fun and laid back.
So that's what's so funny about Cheyenne. It's easy in a certain regard because you've got the best of the best. I mean, whether it's Cowboys or Stace does a great job bringing in the best livestock from all over. So it sells itself. You just have to tell the stories. But then again, on the other hand, it is one of the toughest rodeos in the world because it's 9 perfs, 3 hours long. You're on live television. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts that happen between the arena activities and the stuff on the track with, the racing or the horse, the wild horse race and the specialty acts and the sponsor flags and, just everything that happens, the Marin Colt race. There's so much that happens at that rodeo. I mean, it never stops. There's so many rodeos that will have a little transition, a little chance to catch your breath between events or whatever. But with the way they have that thing so tight, it never stops, which I love. I mean, from a production standpoint, it's incredible that it never gives people a chance to, okay, well, I'm gonna check my phone here right quick. Like there's none of that. So it's a double-edged sword, but man, I love that kind of challenge, if you will. It keeps me on my game. It keeps me paying attention. And I think it makes us all better.
So now what? I mean, do you already have your next season kind of lined out?
Yeah. So the good thing about announcers is contrary to like barrelmen and stuff and specialty acts that change up their schedules a lot every year, announcers, if we're doing our job right, we know we're going, X, Y, and Z, next year and keep those jobs. So it's a little bit of peace of mind. We joke with the barrel men that, oh yeah, you guys get to kind of change it up and see new sights every year, and that would be nice. But then they come back and say, yeah, but you've got the guaranteed check that you're going back to that place.
Yeah.
They always kind of have to, booking agent almost to make sure that they're staying booked and staying busy. So yeah, I mean, my schedule's pretty much set next year, a few holes here and there, but I'm again blessed to have a full schedule to the point where if I have a weekend off here or there, it's nice to kind of catch my breath and just, kind of reset and be fresh to go again. So nope, it's good. 2022 should be really good. A few new places that have come knocking on the door because of last week's award. So that's awesome. Should be really good.
So when you what kind of prep do you do? I mean, I think I would assume studying contestants is a little bit easier at a professional level than like junior high and high school, because I don't know, there's just not a lot of PR and media around those individual athletes. So what's the difference, I guess, and how do you prepare for those different styles of rodeos?
Yeah, so like junior high and high school finals, when you enter that rodeo, you fill out a bio, and they have a database system that compiles and does a great job. And I mean, it puts it in performance order when it prints them out. So honestly, if you can read a paper, you could do that rodeo. So that's really nice.
No, that's not true. I've seen those notes. I've seen Boyd's notes at the college finals.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got to know it's not that easy. It's not as easy as just reading it.
Yeah. So then like a pro rodeo, everybody's a little different on their, how they compile their notes and where they get them from. For me, it's about, for every 1 hour of rodeo, it's about hour and a half, 2 hours worth of notes. Like Cheyenne, for instance, 3 hour performance, but it'll take me 5 or 6 hours on notes on a good day, because there is so much talent to take notes on. So it's funny. I'm almost an over note taker, if that's even a word. We might have just made that up. I'll write down a lot of stuff that I may never even touch, just because if there's a breakdown, I have it. But I'll get to the high points first, and then if a horse lays down or steer's not standing in the chute or something, and there is time to fill, then I've got something to fill it with.
Well, what's impressive with what you guys do, especially on this level, the professional level, and people think, oh, well, they just get up there and talk. That's easy. I mean, I can announce. I don't know why I got to hire a professional announcer. Yeah. I know Jim Bob Joe down the street who, does the local bake sale auctioneer, and he can get up there and talk for, an hour. They don't realize the work and the time and everything you put into your craft, and how much smoother and better it makes the rodeo for the contestants and the spectators. So it's, hats off to you, because that's what you guys do, makes the whole production come together, and it's amazing. So congratulations.
And that's a great point. Like it's a dance out there between the announcer, the clown, and nowadays the music director can absolutely make or break your show. Because in a world full of turnouts, which don't get me started on that, in a world full of turnouts, we're the constant. We're the ones that are always there to make those people that bought a ticket to support that rodeo. We're the ones that make their show, whether it's, oh geez, we need an extra clown act here, or hey, we better have a sing along ready here, for half the tie down ropers turned out, or whatever the situation. So it falls back on us to kind of almost like the circus ringleaders and clowns. We have to carry the show a lot of times.
To an extent, I mean, I know this happens at our PRCA rodeo here at the fair. A lot of the people that are buying tickets on certain nights to watch certain people. And so then those certain people turn out for whatever reason. You kind of have to patch that up a little bit. It's not, you feel like you have to tell a big story about why they're not here and, make something up, but there is still a little bit of PR work there that has to be done on your part.
Oh yeah. I mean, you look at like busy times of the year, like, 4th of July and late July and really any time of the year in the right part of the country, the story sometimes is pretty simple. And if you just be honest with them, hey, there was 5 rodeos in 4 days, and they just couldn't make this one. A lot of times if you just, be honest with people, that's the biggest thing about announcing. Like people aren't stupid. Like people that buy a ticket, I mean, even if they are a first time rodeo fan, they're not dumb. So just be honest with them, and hey, that's the truth. That's what happened. This guy, I'll use Luke for example. Hey, Luke entered 6 rodeos this weekend, and just the way the calendar works, you can't make them all.
Right.
So you just got to figure out what works on your run, and where you got the best chance to win money. And I mean, just to be honest, again, the Cowboys, they look at where the added money's at. Where they got the best chance to feed their family. So but you're right. I mean, it does fall back on us a little bit to kind of patch the holes and make everybody feel like they got their money's worth.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about the rodeo.
Woo.
Oh, there's a rodeo going on?
Yeah.
It's just a little one.
The prayer, was it a few years ago when they couldn't do the prayer on TV out there?
So yeah,
CBS
Sports didn't want to take the prayer. They always had the prayer. So I remember their Facebook world was in a tizzy a few years ago because they did away with the prayer. No, they didn't. They moved it up ahead of television time. So like the opening ceremony, Viva Las Vegas usually plays about 6:42ish. Now 5:42. I guess we moved up an hour. Opening the Six Flags, as they're referred to, running about pretty much right at 5:45. And they would always do the prayer like before the Six Flags, kind of in that quiet house moment. They would do Viva, have their quiet house, pray, and then it's pretty much right on Amen is when they would come to television and do the Six Flags and stuff. So, I mean, that was CBS Sports prerogative. I mean, that was their decision. Now, Cowboy Channel, God bless them for wanting the opening ceremonies in its entirety. God Country, all of it. So that's pretty cool to see a broadcast television network that wants to put God back on television.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I know we dealt with that a few times at the college level, at the collegiate level, moving things around in the opening because they wanted to show this part, but they didn't want to show that part. So it's hard, but it's nice when you have a network like the Cowboy Channel that will allow you to all out. I do like it. And man, I'm not going to lie. I dang near was in tears last night when they were doing those introductions. Like like that guy, that's what my husband, his name is Josh, so I will refer to him a lot. But he said, that guy, I mean, he took out 12 people to save his group, his men, and he's here to tell about it. Like, such an amazing story. And those are the stories that I think people are just forgetting about, those gentlemen that put their lives on the line. So we have our freedom now.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. I mean, it's often referred to as the greatest generation was World War II. Now, with so few of those still living with us, a lot of the focus has started to shift on Vietnam and those guys there and those Medal of Honor recipients. And last year's NFR, I was part of the team that produced the opening ceremonies there. And one of my jobs was to coordinate all of the different groups every night, whether it was the Texas World Champs or the Texas Rangers or the Medal of Honor recipients we did last year. And those openings are so heartwarming to put together because we almost take for granted in our sport. We know Cowboys are appreciative of that, that group, those people that have fought, literally given their lives, and some of them, paid the price so that we can enjoy what we do. But even in that taking for granted, there's still that moment when the crowd roars and they're on their feet and I'm getting chills just thinking about it. When you see those Medal of Honor recipients get that whelp in their throat and that little twinkle in their eye, they don't get that much. And it's so incredibly gratifying that we could give them just a little glimmer of thank you. Like last night, I mean, hearing 17,000, roar in there, and I'll just say it, the loudest the building got all night was for those three gentlemen, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just incredible that we could take, and it's not enough. I mean, it'll never be enough. But that's one of the things I'm most proud of in our sport is kind of going back to the prayer thing. We still pray before every performance, and we're unapologetic about it. And when we get a chance, we're going to thank the men and women who allow us to play the game. So it was really, really a proud moment to be a part of rodeo last night.
Well, and I'll say, like, this platform in general, we loved the openings last year. Just to get back to that storytelling thing. I mean, that's what we did. That's what we do at the CNFR. I was the production manager for a few years, like telling those stories and getting the kind of emotional tie-in right at the beginning. We love it.
And I'll say this, the guy you have on the microphone there is probably one of, if not the greatest storytellers. You want to talk about a guy that when he gets those big Wisconsin pipes on a roll, he can pull the old emotions. And man, I love listening to that guy when he gets in that zone and stuff, and he gets kind of on the hunt, if you will. You don't want to get in his way, but man, it's fun to listen to him and stuff, and his passion comes out. And that's sometimes, people say that he has the personality of sandpaper. Well, it comes from a good place. He genuinely cares so much about the sport and telling those stories and stuff, whether it's, 4 generations of cowboys or it's military. His passion shows. And yeah, he's so incredible to listen to when it comes to those openings and stuff.
Well, I learned a lot working with him, that's for sure. So
yeah.
All right. Next event.
Bareback riding?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I gotta.
It's getting
you got
serious.
a stretch?
Yeah.
Like we're getting Oh, it's gonna get deep today.
Oh my.
Hang on a minute.
All right, game on.
See, I'm official. I have my ring. I got my walking stick. Hang on a minute.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
I got my rule book too from 2010.
From 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So, are y'all ready?
Yep.
Actually, several years ago, one of these were laying in the floorboard of a guy's pickup. I hopped in his pickup for a ride. I said, "Oh, here, let me move that." He goes, "Oh, the PRCA, you mean the Prick Run Computer Association?"
Ouch.
Woo!
Ouch.
Let me preface with, it's thank God for them guys. They talked about the opening last night that we can do this, that we can all agree to disagree and everything. Is the PRCA perfect? No. Is the judging perfect? No. But it's kind of like Luke said yesterday, if you don't like it, go start a new association. That's kind of hard to do. The PRCA, to me, the PRCA is God. I'm going to have a hard time jumping over and going and following Buddha. But anyhow, so I'll just, I made lots of notes. And being from Kansas, I see a lot of remarks from folks from Kansas who were up in arms last night. I'm in the group, the Bareback Riders Only group on Facebook.
Ooh.
Been seeing lots of things on there. Which, no, I was not a bareback rider. Like I told him the other day, my claim to fame was, I think I won 3rd behind Denny McClanahan in the pony riding, bareback ponies at Wheeler, Texas one night, long ago. But anyhow, but it's funny, one of them guys said on the day, they said, a good bareback riding judge, that's the bulldoggers. We need bulldoggers to judge bareback riding because them guys aren't going to argue with them guys. But so I've got lots of notes. I'm trying to find them all here. One thing I wrote down was to be a judge this year of the bareback riding, all you needed was your proof of vaccination card. So I picked Jess, Pope, and Cole Franks to be on my team. 2 young guys who are trying to break through, but Casey Field, it seems like the whole world is kind of up in arms over kind of him knocking Cole out of winning the round the other night, and then last night getting that re-ride. One of the other things that jumped out to a lot of people last night was what's that pretty boy? The one you have on your team, Tony. Don't you have
Cole Rayner?
No. I can't say his name. Huh? RC.
RC Landingham.
So the comment that Butch made last night, he says he was perfect. He's the same on both sides. You know, he ought to be the same. Well, RC's ride was scored from 43 down to 38, a 5-point difference. When Butch says it should be the same on both sides, you know. But I will say, like on Casey's ride, I felt like he did deserve a re-ride last night. I don't think there's other times where he's gotten one where I didn't think he deserved one, but last night that horse did quit kicking. The horse does not have to stop. In the 4-man system, I forgot to ask my judge friend a while ago. I was on the phone with him. I'm pretty sure only one guy has to offer a re-ride, right? Or does it have to be 2?
I know last time we were in Vegas, there had to be 2. I don't know if that's changed or not. But I know at one time there had to be two out of the 6 eligible officials had to throw the orange flag.
So even a back judge can throw a flag for a re-ride.
Yeah.
If it's due to something out in the field, even.
Beyond
the foul at the chute.
I don't know that part.
So, but anyhow, you know, and nothing says that just because, you know, if they're 82 points, they can't get a re-ride. Nothing says, you know, just like the other night, it was the 94-point bronc ride.
Yeah.
They had to offer a re-ride. So, but I can tell you this, folks. There's no grand scheme. Them guys do not get together and say, hey, let's make sure Casey wins the world. That
Right.
is not happening. Now there might be someone who needs to up their game or do whatever, but we'll discuss some things that I think could help them guys. But I can tell you the judges that are out there, I'm pretty sure the ones doing the bareback riding, I'm pretty sure 2, 3. Well, I think Rocky Stiegel is one.
Rocky's one of them.
Rocky,
Todd,
Steve, Mike Todd, and I think it's either Chuck or Harry. I can't remember which one.
Chuck. And I know Rocky, Chuck, Mike all rode bareback horses. I'm pretty sure Steve Knowles did as well.
I know he rode bulls, but I don't know what else he did.
I don't know for sure. But anyhow, so there's guys that did ride bareback horses that are judging the bareback riding. But here's a few of the things that I think. One, if they'd give them a half point, I think that would help there. That would help their spread a little bit. That would help them out of a bind. I think half points, if they all had half points to utilize, I think that would help them there.
And it always puzzled me that they don't use half points. You use half points all year long, and then you get to the Super Bowl and don't use them.
Yeah. Another thing, they're in a hurry. You know, that we hear that, you know, that's why I can't do the breakaway roping, because we're in a hurry. And them guys are in a hurry. They can't sit there and think, well, what did I mark? I mean, they're marking 15 guys. Well, they're down to not that many now, but and yes, you should, if you're at that level of a judge, you should in your mind go through all the criteria. You should be able to watch a ride. And most of them guys do. They'll say a 22-point horse and a 21-point spur ride, whatever. I will tell you this, there's some guys out there. I've been told there's some guys that will say 43. They'll call out their 43, and then they'll go back from there. They'll go backwards from there, and they'll distinguish what the ride was or what the horse was. But they don't have their book. They're not holding their book like they are most of the time. They have their little palm pilot deal where they're entering their numbers. So they can't go back and look to see what they marked a guy 10 rides ago. And they will do that. Whether you like it or not, they do that throughout the year. They're able to look and see to help themselves try to get number 1, 2, 3 in order, whatever. Beyond that, it is what it is, but it'd be nice if they could get 1, 2, 3 in order. But like I say, time constraints, they're in a hurry. They're not doing anything to intentionally screw anyone.
And the other thing people forget oftentimes when you're armchairing on Facebook, it looks different down there standing on the arena floor than it does from any camera angle, any seat in the Thomas and Mack. Like it is every seat you move in that building, it could change your opinion or, your marking of the ride, horse, whatever. So, everybody calm down a little bit when you're watching Cowboy Channel from 4,000 miles away. They have a little better vantage point.
I can tell you this, and that was one of my points too. And I don't know. It's just Casey Field will spur one. I mean, he sets his feet as hard as anybody. And I see what Steve Barney just shared there.
Yeah.
That was on my notes too, as well, to discuss. Rick Smith is going to be the new PRCA judging director. Chris Horton was in charge. Great guy. But I can see some things changing. Maybe good, maybe bad. I don't know. And this all boils down to the whole PRCA as a whole. We have new leadership, and so I have two dear friends, my brother and another guy who's yet to be on here. Mike will be on here in a few days, but they always say we can't have a cowboy running the association. Well, bullshit, we can't, because they say, well, Cowboys don't know what they're doing, and we're not going to change nothing. It's all going to stay the same. Well, if I was in there, I would make sure I'd do what I can to change or make things better. But you see what happened where we had a business guy that just left us. And I'll just say this, Garrett, you don't even have to say nothing here. I'll just say this. I hear that maybe our books need audited, or their books, like maybe some money left there. I don't know. But, I wish Tom Glass a lot of luck. He has a long road ahead of him. I know the office is very short staffed right now. I know that
due to the pandemic?
Well, maybe a little bit, but the previous commissioner, I guess a lot of people quit, didn't like working for him and left, and the pandemic a little bit, maybe they cut back. I don't know. And now they're having trouble getting people back. But I think a lot of it was just the previous commissioner. So hopefully our new administration can kind of fix things. And like I say, Rick will do a lot of things. It'll be hard for him to get around the whole country and check on everybody. But them guys, maybe just be held more accountable, I think, for some things. But like I say, it's not easy. Everybody's going to be pulling for their favorites, and like I say, I want Cole and Jess to win as bad as anybody, but it is what it is. Just like the bull riding, the did he nod? Well, I don't know. You go back and watch it in slow motion, it looks different. If you're running that latch, it's hard with them. Both them bull riders wearing them helmets. I've run the latch many a time, but it's harder to see a guy nod in that bull ride with some helmets on.
They need to be nodding bigger.
Do what?
They need to be nodding bigger, because even after that happened, still some of those guys were like,
well, and a lot of them bull riders,
nod your head.
Like I said yesterday, in the horse riding, don't call for them, don't yell for them horses.
Yes, and that's a good point. Yeah.
In the bull riding, you can. It's not as big a deal for bulls, I don't think, but be loud. But it's kind of funny. He hits the ground and gets up. I didn't nod. Okay, so the flag. And then and my question there was on that black bull when he hit the ground, and we ran into a little deal, kind of the same little deal at the high school finals at Guthrie a few years ago. Concussion protocol. I was sitting there wondering, are they going to make him go through concussion protocol before they let him on a re-ride? I'm a little bit, kind of wondered a little bit if they weren't going to pull him off to the side and kind of look in his face a little bit. But apparently they said, he's in, get your rope on.
I saw some conversation earlier, obviously, when JB got knocked out. Is the concussion protocol, is that written down? I mean, is that a written policy, or are they shooting from the hip every time?
It's not in the ground rules.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that leaves you wide open for this type of conversation. Like, why did he get to ride and he didn't? Like, what does this concussion protocol look like? And why isn't it written down?
Wow.
You leave there's just too many open doors there.
And then the third re-ride, how many points did he end up being? 90.5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When nobody's in the building. I mean, you look at the background and everybody's gone.
You know what? I was in the building, not watching on television, so I don't know what camera angles they were using stuff, but there actually was a lot of people that stayed.
Yeah.
And what was cool is, after the rodeo, I mean, the energy had kind of died down. They had sold the show and stuff, and Benji was just kind of playing some background walkout music. And when he started pulling his rope and stuff, and I bet there was maybe, 15-20% of the crowd still there, which, out of 17,000 is still a fair good amount. And they started to cheer and stuff. And they, the announcers kind of perked up like, hey, there's still a pretty good group of fans here. And, they did a little build up, and Benji, he, picked up and kind of played some bull riding music again. And then, he spanks him for 90.5, and the crowd goes nuts. I mean, so that was pretty cool, that the kind of going back to the fans a little bit, not to change subject, but, the fans recognized what was going on and the importance of it, and stuck around and cheered for him like he was in the performance. So that was cool.
Man, I'm not going to lie. I really like Stetson. I've interviewed him before. Super nice dude. I was pulling for Frost last night. I mean, what an amazing.
Oh yeah.
That would have just been amazing. I mean, I don't want to wish anybody to get bucked off.
$1,000 52.5 point ride.
Yeah.
And to move, I mean, Butch and Jeff were talking about it, how much he would move up. Like, I don't want to hope that somebody bucks off, but I was like, man, I want that kid to do good.
Yeah. And that's the exciting part about, kind of going back to building the storyline. All of that ground money counts. So, you want to talk about going from nowhere to somewhere. Yeah, and imagine, okay, so think about world race right now between Sage and Stetson. Imagine if Stetson would have been in that boat, how much of a game changer that would have been for him to pocket all 84,000.
Yeah.
That could have really wrecked Sage Kinsey's world. Now, granted, he still had a nice piece of it last night, being only one of two guys to ride, but 60-40 is a lot smaller number than 100%. So.
Yeah, I was cheering for him.
Yeah. And I think it was just funny that he's 52.5 and going to win all that money.
Lowest score, highest pay.
Yeah. People want to get on the re-ride subject about taking it or not taking it, be a cowboy or be a businessman. Well, not to change associations, but Silvano Alves won 3 world titles in the PBR by not taking re-rides.
Yeah.
So I guess there's some merit to that.
Well, even Donnie Gay, even Donnie was saying, right, that's the right choice. That's the right choice.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I see we quit talking about Casey, so Tony came back in. so we can go back to the bareback riding.
Oh.
Hey, I ain't even gonna say. Let's gonna talk about who has the pretty woman tonight. But I'm gonna go on. But I hope he does well. Yeah, I'll just say I'm pulling for Clayton Bigelow tonight.
There you go.
I like the rest of the field, but I almost hope it's the same situation. I hope everybody else bucks off but Clayton Bigelow tonight. I don't care. Well, that's what somebody said. How would you like to go to South Point and get a buckle for a 52-point ride or something? Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, they'd probably take it and the money and run, and
Yeah, the bank doesn't care how many points you were.
So
you don't tell everybody.
Hopefully Clayton Bigelow can get me another buckle tonight. That'd be great. So, next thing I wanted to discuss is that red steer the Wag had last night, we'd start entering again if we could haul him.
Ooh. That one right there. Hello. And Wags was due anyways. I mean, he's been knocking on the door, yeah, he smoked that steer last night.
Well, don't
And
you know whoever
the best part about it is his celebration last night after winning the buckle and the Pendleton whiskey. It was no Frisco's Double Eagle Steakhouse. It was no Michael's at the South Point. I saw him at the Steak and Shake.
Oh, yeah.
That's my kind of guy right there.
Amen. Awesome.
Don't you know whoever comes back with that steer Saturday night will be tickled.
Yeah, they're going to be. Yeah, that one right there is pure money, and Jacob Talley is hoping it's him.
For the sake of my fantasy team, I hope it's Riley Duval.
Yes, I like Riley.
Oh,
that's funny. All right, what's on your notes?
Well, I got through all my bareback riding and judging notes. We kind of, I didn't.
All your notes revolved around that.
I didn't want to harp on that all day long, but I did share this to the Bareback Riders Only page for them to come watch. And like I said, we can harp on all day long. We ain't going to solve anything. I mean, about the only thing they're going to listen to me on is how to get into the Thompson Mack. They did change that, but anyhow,
it was the diagram that did it.
I was asked why Driggers and the Gara didn't do the Trey Yates trick in the team rope and why to get the front leg out.
Looks like he just
I'm gonna guess Trey and who's heading for him.
Tyler Wade's heading for Trey.
I'm gonna guess they had that planned. Like I would almost bet that they talked beforehand. If something funky happens on a head catch, go ahead and turn him off. I'll heel him down.
Yeah.
Hold him. You ride up there and get off there. It
Yeah.
didn't work the next night when Trey needed a horn knot, but last night when Driggers had a front leg in it, and I had somebody text me, why didn't they do what them other guys did? And I'm gonna guess it wasn't in their mind. I'm gonna guess he just was freaking out, and they're not used to that. That's something you don't practice for. Back in the day they used to say Roy Cooper practiced tying a calf. And all the different situations, like he would tie a calf up from the fence just by a front leg,
right?
On the rope and practice for that situation. Well, what team ropers are going to practice for that situation?
Yeah.
And maybe it's easier to get that front leg out. Garrett won't remember this, but my son Jalen in the short go the last round of the junior Ironman at Guthrie, he roped the front leg. He had that happen in the Lazy. You have more room to get it out. But he's able to run down through that other end, and I couldn't tell what the hell he was doing. I'm like, what is he doing? And he was able to run up there. I guess these guys could see better than me because they said he has a front leg rope. He got it fished out, and because when he turned at the back end, he got it out and spun him. His healer coming there in 2 feet, and saved the day. But that was bad deal for them guys. But they're still third, fourth in the average.
I think they wound up. They dropped to fourth, maybe fifth in the average. I can tell you right here, which it was shocking because Caleb has roped so sharp and smart all week, and with having to steer up on Clay Smith and Jade, and you're thinking, okay, and then he hits the line. That steer kind of beats him out there. Steer does step into junior, and he just brings it, and you're kind of like, man, he's done a great job of staying down, riding his horse through that all week, and it just didn't work out last night, unfortunately. But let's see, in the average heading, let's see what we got. Yeah, so actually they're sitting fourth, and then Clay Smith they're fifth. So there's actually 3 teams that have got them all caught so far: Andrew Ward, Buddy Hawkins, River Shard, and Jeremy Bueller and Eric Rogers and Peyton Bray. So, but I was shocked. I because Driggers had been roping, just he'd been on point all week. But then again, I don't know what it's like to back in there and you're pumped up and adrenaline's flowing and you want to be fast. But last night, Agaskiza and And Graves, they finally got off the bubble and went around and actually split around with Clay Tryon and Jake Long. So don't look for Agaskiza to back off at all. He's going to try to be 3 flat the next 3 rounds to try to lock in that gold buckle, because the average is not going to play a factor for them at all. They're going to have to do it all rounds. So,
hey, I hate to run, guys, but I got to get to a autograph signing. So if you're watching this and you're in Vegas, come see me at Cowboy Christmas in the PRCA booth at 10 o'clock. So thank you guys for having me on. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and have a good week. It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys, and keep stirring the pot right here. I like this. I like conversation.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you. Solving all the world's problems.
There you go. See you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've been accused of that.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I do. I don't care.
Oh goodness. Well, Tony, you stepped out, so you missed our bareback riding conversation. But I guess what stood out for you last night?
In the bareback riding, unfortunately, like I told you guys, I missed part of the bareback riding last night. I just came down. I saw that my fantasy guy was 83 or 84 points, wasn't going to place, and then Charlotte was like, "Hey, yeah, Casey Fields gets a re-ride, and so does Tilden." And so I watched the re-rides, and like I say, I didn't see any of the I didn't catch any of it. Saw Jess Pope was winning around again, and then Casey's horse. It was a good ride. Like I say, I didn't watch all of them, so I didn't have anything else to really base it on. But I didn't think it was a 87.5 point ride. The horse just looked like it kind of wasn't as sharp and snappy. But then again, like I say, I didn't see the rest of the ride, so it might have been for that pin what they were scoring.
So I have questions about. I think maybe in a normal or a not NFR situation, do you really take a re-ride with an 80-point score?
I think
them guys, the first thing they're going to look at a lot of times is what the re-ride is.
Got it.
A lot of it depends on where they're at, what they have going on. I've seen guys walk out of the arena after 4 re-rides. I've seen this one day, 4 re-rides. They offered him another one, and he says, "Forget it. I'm packing up my crap. I'm going home."
Yeah, Mal.
I'm good.
So a lot of it depends on. They'll show them. You have the option. You're supposed to tell them before the next person goes at most rodeos, whether you're accepting the re-ride or not. But you have the option to find out what the animal is. I don't care if they still buck another horse or two. You still, most of the time, you have time to ask somebody, "Hey, what do you think?" A lot of times they're going to know that animal, and that's when it's come down to it in that bull riding. A lot of times I remember at a college rodeo one time, I had a kid that was one of the first ones out, and his bull danced off across the arena, and they offered him re-ride, and thankfully, one of the other coaches there from another school told me, he said, "Jimbo, don't let Cody own that other bull." Like no fun. And
that's a good point.
So he took his score, and someone else maybe got an option, or I seen that bull go maybe that day or the next day, I don't know. And he was right. He was just eliminating a piece of junk, And so sometimes it's business decision just to take the money done, but a lot of rodeos these days, most of the rodeos that these guys are riding at, no, they're not going to win much with an 82. Most of the time they got to be 84, 85 to win any kind of a check, 88 to win it, 87, 88. It depends on how big a rodeo.
Well, point proven. I think Cole Reiner has rode pretty solid all week with those kind of scores, like mid 80, low 80, consistently. Not winning the round, but definitely, showing up with some good scores.
Oh, he's been consistent, all week, like you say. And yeah, if they'd offer him a re-ride when he's 82, he'd probably take it, or 83, just because he knows he's not winning a whole lot.
Yeah. Shane just kind of mentioned, as tight as the average race is in the bareback riding, I'm not surprised that field took the option. You know, it's interesting. It's not just about, especially at this rodeo with 10 rounds and average playing so much into it. Those guys are really paying attention to that.
What I love about
normally, but they do right now.
What I love about the bareback riding, and right now is Jess Pope's like, I love this December deal, this December rodeo deal. Give me 10 head in December anytime. You know, he's been riding really well. So,
so Clint Lanning posted something about the grand entry. I think he hit enter a little too soon. Did the grand entry seem a little? I'm guessing maybe was it different? I didn't see when the Cowboys rode in. Same old, same old.
I didn't watch it real closely, and I I did have my typical discussion with Mike Greenleaf after the show yesterday, and I'll try to save a lot of what he has to say about the grand entry, but he is pro grand entry and pro what's the word for we've done it this way all these years.
Oh, that'll be fun.
You know, and even talking to Tom Miller, he said, you know, he called me about it, and he says he loves getting to see his kid riding the grand entry. Of course, Emily's a little bit of an adrenaline junkie, you know, she loves it. And I guess horse she got on the other night kind of bucked a little bit at first or something, and is one of the pickup man's horses, and I guess the pickup man apologized. She goes, "Oh no, it's awesome, it's cool," you know, and you know, there's some stories out there of, you know, years ago, one guy, you know, horse bucked with him. They're like, "We'll find you something else." He goes, "No, I want him. I like, you know,
bring him back. I'm good." Yeah.
And who's to say there wasn't some monkeying around in that deal? Who's to say Wade didn't do something? You know, it is wild Wade, you know. But he said maybe it's a little less wild. Like maybe they talked to him about toning it down a little bit and being careful. And so, I mean, you've seen, just like Luke said, there's been a lot of bumping and craziness and different things.
Well, I mean, and I've seen comments too, like, warm your horse up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I'm sure that they're doing that. I'm sure that they're doing their due diligence. They're not just hopping on cold and going and running around the arena at Mach 10. But, you know, maybe you're right. Maybe there is some ownership to take there.
And, you know, I hope people don't get us wrong that we didn't come on here yesterday saying Wade needs to sue whoever. Well, that wasn't what we were saying. Because there's a lot of people out there saying that he needs to sue for lost wages potentially. That's all this deal is we're just having fun discussing things, and we're, you know, Wade ain't gonna. I was told somebody called him. I guess he was at the hospital, and I guess he was a little bit sedated. And they called to check on him. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Oh, well, and like we were in a good position yesterday to talk to somebody who's ridden in that grand entry, you know, for 14 years, you know, so we could talk to somebody that is now behind the scenes that can, and like Luke said, he's like, hey, I don't see him having any recourse because you pretty much, you know, when you sign on the dotted line, it's ironclad. You're not going after anybody. So, well,
and you know what, anybody that competes in rodeo too, and especially at this level, like it's an enter at your own risk kind of thing.
Right.
Anyways, we all understand and know the risks of what we do. There's risk. We don't need to go there. Yeah, we understand what we're doing. We understand
it is a crazy world that I have to make my little side gig in LLC in case a goat hooks somebody and they try to sell me to take my home.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You got to protect yourself.
So what about the tie-down roping? There we have Haven Medjid wins the round. They've won the round on that calf every time he's come out. And that calf will be back in round 10.
He's the draw.
He is the draw. Haven 7-1 last night. Caleb Schmidt, he's got He's got about a 2-second lead over Corey Solomon in the average. Hanshy's in third in the average. Weston Hughes is in fourth. But right now, that round last night, Haven 7-1, Weston Hughes 8 flat, Corey's 8-1. Round could have been a lot faster, and these guys just kind of, bobbled, had some issues. 9 flat. At least, Shane got a check last night, so that was good to see. But they're projected for the tie down rope and still. Let's see. Survey says they're still projecting Caleb as a champion, Shane as your runner-up, Weston, then Corey. But then again, going into last night, the team roping, they're projecting Junior and Caleb, and that changed. Like team roping, just with last night's change with Junior and Caleb going out. Now they're projecting Ren Richard as your header and Eric Rogers as your runner-up on the heading side, and on the heeling side, it's going to be Junior. They're projecting Junior. We're going to look. We may have a split, but we've got 3 rounds left, and we all know that so much weird stuff can happen out there in Vegas in that building. It's unreal.
Yeah, and I feel like the team roping always throws a wrench.
There's always something. And
Somebody asked why the calf ropers getting 2 loops still, and team ropers only they don't get 3 loops. Why?
I think they put that in. I think each event put that in themselves, I believe.
Like the directors, maybe?
Yeah, the directors. I believe that was their call.
And I keep wondering why Shad's second loop is green. Everything else is green. His boots are green. His skid boots are green. His underwear is green. But his first rope is not green. I'm like, why not make the money rope green? I don't know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Oh, that's too fun.
That's the things that matter to me.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm still trying to get a breakaway roper on.
Oh, you want me to get a breakaway roper on?
Yeah, get us a break. Hey, get Nicole Baggerly. Let's talk to her.
I don't know her.
Her husband is the coach at New Mexico State. Is that right?
Can I get Taylor Monsell?
Yeah, whoever.
Yeah.
Let's talk to a breakaway roper.
Okay.
I messaged no calling people out, Heidi. I will not call people out. I messaged a few breakaway ropers. They have seen my message. That's the thing about Facebook. Like, I know that you've seen my message.
Oh.
So, anyways, and I am still trying to get another dude who may not be social media savvy, so he's not seen my message yet, but I'm still working on it. But a breakaway roper would be good, I feel like, to answer some questions. What color was the string that you had to tie your rope on? What color is your breakaway flag? The important things.
The inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are there rules now that the flag at the end of your rope has to be white?
I know there was something put out a while ago where it had to be solid color, it had to be white, it couldn't be checkered or spotted or something.
I had a tie-dye one when I was in college. I feel like it matched because I went to the University of Montana in Missoula, and there's kind of a lot of hippies there. So
you kind of tied in.
Yes, I did. Okay, so Jack Phillips says in high school it has to be white. That's why I was excited, because in college I could have any color.
You could change it, and it might be high school that does have to be white still.
I was trying not to comment.
Uh-oh.
This is where I'm gonna get in trouble. I'll try to be careful what I say. So in high school and junior high, it has to be a solid color.
Right.
Years ago, they made it to where it had to be white. And I kid you not, junior high nationals, a lot of people, apparently their directors didn't tell them before they went that it had to be white. We told our folks here, it's got to be white. They get up there, and I kid you not, there are guys taking their boots off. Like kids are riding into behind the back of the chutes, like they're four. And there's people on the gate that lets them get up into the area behind the box. They're like, you got to have a white flag. there's parents taking their boots off, getting their white sock and putting it on kids' ropes. And I'm just sitting there over here shaking my head. Me and Daniel Green are sitting there by each other. And it's funny just how Daniel Green is treated there. Now, I don't expect him to let him set up a lawn chair out in the arena, and do what he wants, but treat us with a little respect. We're not idiots, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a director. I'm going to say this. And a lot of people are out here making fun of me. There's a director from a very small state and trying to tell us all what to do. And I'm sitting there like at Guthrie a few years ago, and they're on them kids about hurry up, do this, you know, yelling at these. I'm like, ease up. These kids have been to more big productions than you've ever thought about attending and paying a ticket to get into, and they're competing. So relax a little bit. But anyhow, I got to be careful what I say. But no, and it's funny because I think Rattler was like a national sponsor for us, and Rattler came out with these pretty neat looking breakaway flags.
Yeah.
And they couldn't use them. They had to be. And I'm like, okay, if your flagger is that terrible, if his eyesight is that, he shouldn't be flagging that event anyhow.
Yeah, being solid or checkered isn't going to make that big a difference.
Yeah, and I know a lot of it. Well, I'll say this: some of it's because I'll just say Cinch didn't like. There were some things from when Shad, I believe I may not know it all, but when Shad won the calf roping out in Rock Springs, and I think he did his interviews with Wrangler all over him. Cinch didn't really like that, and I understand there's a lot of things there, but it came down to our national board. They didn't. You know, they was afraid of what might be on a breakaway flag, and we have to be careful. And I understand we got to be careful what we're doing, you know. But I don't think people on watching TV are really going to see what's on a breakaway flag so much, you know. So I think we kind of go a little extreme.
We can go overboard, yeah.
Sometimes on some of that stuff. So anyhow, I'll try to move on before y'all get me in trouble.
Shall we move on to the barrel race?
If you want.
You know.
I enjoy talking. And what could be controversial talking about in barrel race? I mean, there's nothing controversial there. I will say this. What was my prediction the other night? A knockdown barrel would win fourth in the average.
Yeah, it's winning second.
Second now.
Yes, I was going to say there's one person.
How about that? She's going to start eloping the pattern. I doubt it.
Oh, and she not only is she winning it, doesn't have a barrel down, she wins second last night in the round behind Haley. And then Emily. That was a smoking round last night.
Yeah.
It's going to be something to watch. That is for sure.
So let's talk about the rakers. Did you see the video that I shared this morning?
Yes. It explained the helmet.
That's why I had to post it. I've been looking for that helmet all week.
You can't see it? You haven't seen it?
Well, I just don't look in the right. I don't know where. I didn't know where it was located. So
team roping. Look behind the head box on the lead up.
Okay. Well, then I came across that video and I was like, oh, I have to share this.
So either in the bulldogging or team roping, where like there's the steer and the chute, and then the lead up, the by hand hem. So look where about the back of the box, about the third and fourth steer where they'd be standing. You'll see a little green blip right there.
Well, to actually see it, I don't know, in use. Oh man, that video.
That was so funny this morning.
You can't really hear what he's saying very good because he got the tractor in the background, but watch it. Just a little bit extra behind the scenes. So someday we'll be there, you guys, and then we'll do the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you got to be there. Everybody has the Vegas strangles if they've already been there.
I got it, and I'm not even there, so I might as well have been there. Jesus.
You might as well be there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. All right, so we have a handful of viewers this morning. Pretty good comments, but if you guys have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to to message in there and questions, comments, all the things. Keep your hate mail to yourself because we don't really want to read that.
Send it to me.
Yeah.
I'm used to it. I've been to get sued over having a college rodeo in a snowstorm before.
Yeah.
Back to the bull riding. I watching Josh Frost, and I'm pretty sure he was wanting a replay button, a challenge button.
On Stetson.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's which could you imagine the bareback riding? How many challenge buttons?
Oh,
that this week.
And we talked about this off the air before everything started. I was rooting for him.
Rooting for
Frost. I just think it would have been so cool. What a huge jump he would have taken in the standings and the average, like
an $80,000 52-point ride.
He should have been yelling at Tandy, "Hey, go check him out. I don't think he's right. He ain't all here. He's gonna get hurt. Don't let him get on."
You can't let him get on a third one. I tell you, the source.
That's the same bull. That black bull is the same bull that took JB out.
Yeah, the second one he got on.
Yeah.
What? Well, Jim Boy, and I didn't catch it. I mean, I watched it. I didn't catch it though. But then I got a text from somebody last night that the gate men they kicked the latch 3 times before people have nodded this week and last night in the bull riding with Stetson, and that could dang sure hurt a guy. You know.
Well, it knocked him upside that chute, anyways.
Yeah.
He had to have had his bell rung a couple times and still got on those re-rides.
You could tell when they interviewed him, you got to talk about a guy that's probably really sore today and he was out of breath. He's still breathing hard. He's probably still trying to catch his breath to get on 3 caliber of bulls like that within a matter of what? 8 minutes at the most?
10 minutes. Casey Wynn said that nasty black bull was the first re-ride in bulls had a part in Josh keeping his score. And it could have. It definitely could have. And I'm sure he was probably wishing he would have got on another one, but that was a safe bet, I felt.
You know, and you know what? It was still a $40-some thousand, win nice. For Josh. He won second outright, so that's 20-some thousand or whatever, or 18,000. And then they split third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Divide that by 2. That's what I was wondering. That's still not a bad night to in the rank pin. And what did they say? It was the semi rank pin or semi eliminator pin.
Yeah, semi.
So Ray Markser asked, when did the ground split money start counting towards the standings?
It was 3 or 4 years ago, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, they decided they were starting.
Game changer.
Huge game changer.
I mean, I don't know that we see a lot of things like that in the timed events, but definitely in the rough stock. Well, definitely in the bull riding.
My sister was texting me last night, and she says, "Well, I don't think it's right that money should count. I can see him getting the money, can see them guys, but she goes, I don't think that should count to where they didn't ride at that money all year long." And I'm like, well, look at it this way: everyone had the option of riding to win that money.
Right.
True. That's true.
Now, and there's been some question the other day. I seen a deal. I can't remember if we addressed this or not. I can't remember where I saw this, but there's some question as to why Stetson might have a certain amount won in the bronc riding, a certain amount won in the bull riding, but that doesn't add up for his winnings for the all around. The extreme bulls doesn't count, I don't think. The money
right.
The bulls.
Yeah, the extreme bulls money doesn't count towards the all around.
Yeah.
And I had a few people message me wondering, well, how come Stetson's not winning the Top Gun, between both events? The Top Gun, that is the most money in one event at the finals. So
Casey said they count ground and day money all year in bulls.
Yeah.
I kind of just assumed they did.
Yeah. But it used to be they didn't. Used to ground money.
It was just ground money and
just you won it, and you count toward the standings. Back in our day.
Back in the day.
Back when we used to spur them down.
Oh, well, in the average, Parker Breding's still winning the average there in the bull riding. Josh Frost has jumped up to second. He's a bull behind Parker. Parker's got 5 out of 7 road. Josh has got 4 out of 7. Stetson Wright jumped to third. He's got 3 out of 7. Then Boudreaux's 3 out of 7. Sage is 3 out of 7. Clayton Sellers 3 out of 7. So there's your top 6 right there in the average.
Do you guys know what the injury report looks like now?
That I do not. I'm see if I can find it.
I mean, it's got to be pretty long. Listen, Josh and I were talking about this last night. Tandy Freeman is obviously an amazing person, an amazing man, very smart. I wish he would just smile or something.
He's pretty dry.
He seems so grumpy.
That's the
I
doctor.
mean, I realize what he's talking about is not fun or great, but just a little.
That's just the doctor in him.
Like, you're at the NFR, dude.
So after last night's go-around win and the ground money split, the projection in the bull riding now is Stetson to beat Sage for the world. So yeah, they're projecting Stetson to be your world champion now. So that ground money played a factor. I mean, there's 3 rounds left, and Sage could tap off and go on a run and win the next 3 rounds and win the average and get back in the hunt. But right now, that ground money may play a factor in who's your world champion when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going back to look at. I'm looking at the draw tonight. So tonight in the bareback riding, and I wanted to see who had her the other night. Casey has high heels of high lows. Caleb Bennett had that horse the first time out of the eliminators. Tonight's the eliminators in the barebacks and saddle broncs. So Casey Field, I mean, he'll ride her, but he might get tested tonight. The other one that jumps out at me is Tim O'Connell and Powwow Knights, Danny Reagan's. That'll be a battle right there. But
we have a question from Blaine Redburn. Thanks for watching, Blaine. Is Killer Bee and Virgil not at the NFR?
They are. I was getting to that right here in the saddle bronc riding. They took them in the saddle bronc riding. Virgil, was that Dawson that got on Virgil? Was 90, a lot of 90 points, big time score somewhere. I can't remember.
Okay.
But I think it's Dawson Hay that had Virgil somewhere.
That's super cool.
Spencer has Killer Bee in the bronc riding tonight, and Leighton Green has Virgil. So they're there. They just didn't get drawn in the first time. They was in the re-rides.
Oh, got it.
Their first time through. So that's why nobody's seen them yet. But yeah, they're out tonight. Tiger Warrior. Tegan Smith has Tiger Warrior. That could be pretty good watching right there. I can tell you Pretty Woman is carrying a baby right now by Tiger Warrior.
Gosh, you're making her work while she's knocked up? Come on.
Jessica had to work while she was pregnant.
Well, so did I, but whatever. What a woman.
Another one, Ryder Wright has American Hats Positive Times of Sammy Andrews. That'll be good watching. And, well, Zeke Thurston has Indian Burn. Where's the other one I was looking for? Oh, the other, where's he at? Jump out at me. Where are you at? Oh, I'm not seeing that horse. I can't say it until I see its name, but might be a re-ride. But anyhow. Yeah, tonight's the Buckers, which, it's not like the old days. And kind of brings me to another point. Somebody, sometimes this comes up in conversation. Why don't them guys I always think it'd be neat to see a round of colt riding. Them guys all think it's pretty cool to see colt riding. A lot of people think it's pretty good to see colt riding at a bronc school, which I don't think that's why we should have bronc schools.
Yeah.
But, I think sometimes it would be kind of neat to see but
that just changes. I mean, that changes your technique, and it makes you, it kind of separates the field a little bit, I would say.
it's different, but
Yes.
they'd be taking a chance on getting hurt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Because you don't know where they're going.
Yeah, that's true. We do have a couple of people that agree with that. They'd like to see that.
I think that one right there is agreeing that it shouldn't be done at a Bronx school or a high school rodeo for that matter.
Wait, that's where you take them. What are you kidding?
I'll tell you this: I can buck my colts at a high school rodeo and feel comfortable because I think I handle my colts differently. I'm around them more. We move them around more. We handle them more. They're not as wild as a lot of them guys. A lot of these guys that have horses there,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have thousands of acres, and these horses, they don't see humans much.
So I interviewed John Franzen at some point.
I hope you didn't interview him after the buckle ceremony.
No, goodness. I know better than that. It was for Outside the Arena, my Monday broadcast. I think it was in the spring. I don't remember when it was, but he talked about, and I learned a lot in this interview, like talked about their process and how they prepare their colts to buck. And I was impressed. Has that always been the case where you guys are bucking them prior?
It's changed through the years. And everybody will still agree to disagree a little bit on how soon, how many times, whatnot. The problem with my little operation, I don't have enough land to run that many, so I need to kind of be testing them a little sooner. I asked a guy that really best built right is the guy that helped me out with my deal when I first got started, and I asked him one time. I said, "Do I handle them horses too much?" He goes, "No." He says, "You think about it. You load a horse, you get a horse loaded and shoot. If they're sweaty and wore out and mad when you get them loaded, they're not going to buck very good. You want them to walk up in there and stand there. And I'll say that, like that pretty woman that's out tonight, even when I still had her here, she was a little bit of a handful to get loaded. She didn't just walk right up in there. She kind of had her ways, and it took a little bit of training on her. And I'm not saying not by training, a flag whipping hard and
right. Just working with them.
Just slowly letting them be their idea and figuring out an easier way for them to walk in the chute, and maybe an older horse to lead them in there and whatever. I mean, there is some training involved. You don't just run them in there and buck them. But
and I appreciate that. But listen, I mean, Tony, you laugh, but I think honestly, I'm a timey. I don't do that. That's not my jam. But I mean, for a long time, that's what I thought happened. And I thought conversation with Powder River Rodeo really kind of opened my eyes to what all goes into raising a good bucking horse. And I mean, he was talking about like they run them in and they just not mess with them or jack with them, but like kind of play with them in the chute. Like,
just them. There's even training behind like Charlie Thompson. He'll take and Charlie Thompson's the guy down by Lubbock, Texas, who is like the great granddaddy of raising bucking horses. I mean, you hear about all the old bloodlines, but they go in a lot of these bucking horses. But Charlie Thompson is a guy who he probably has more blood from his raising. He probably has more blood in a vast majority, and more people's strings than anyone horses that he sold. But I seen a video of him one time training them to come by him in the alley, not just letting them all run by him in the alley. Like he'll let one colt by and he'll hold them up and he kind of gets their attention and makes them learn. And him, just like Kirsten and most people, they want them coming down the left side of the alley. They're coming down a particular side, not just however they want. Me, I'm a little more flexible. I'm kind of, I kind of let them do a little bit more what they want, kind of. But I mean, I say, everybody's different. Some people believe in sorting horseback. Some people believe in sorting a foot. Some people will turn them all out in the arena and sort them before performance. They'll sort their bears and broncs or their re-ride pin or whatever. But they'll let them come out of the arena one at a time, and that helps them find the outgate, know where it is. Now, certain setups, I don't want them knowing where the out gate is. Like in the little indoor barn that we use here, I try to send them out of different gates at times. We have a big door at the other end of the building, and a lot of people will want that door shut. There's times I'll buckle with it wide open because our out gate's over in our corner, and I don't want them just going to that out gate and bucking in a tight circle one out. Like there's times I'll open that big door and just send them out straight down the arena just so they aren't going to that corner every time,
Right. Just give them another out, another exit point, another.
Yeah. Like when I run them in just to worm them, I'll open the gate. I have a middle gate. It doesn't lead to our strip and shoot, but I will let them out that middle gate when we're just worming at times or whatever. Just so they're going out.
Well, I think it's pretty interesting, all the work that goes into it. We did have Clint Lanning posted, well, do you remember the colt riding at the CNFR?
Yes, there was a time when that one of the go rounds and the slack go rounds, it was a colt riding, and I didn't like it. And now there's a rule. I think they put it in college rodeo last year that a horse has to have three rider trips, not dummy trips. They have to have 3 rider trips before they're
bucked out.
Yeah, but that's why they miss me and Tony being on the boards right there.
They really do.
Do they miss you?
Huh?
Do they miss you?
They probably don't because I talk too much at times.
They just don't know it.
They think I'm stupid, but listen, I would have really enjoyed being in that meeting. Do they think them contractors are going to tell the truth? I mean, when you go to a contractor that's put on a college rodeo and you got some young horses there, do you honestly think that Benny or Mike or Heath, Sturdy, I mean, I don't care any of them. I don't care if it's, Cotton Rosser, who's supposed to be the Pope, but, you think when they say, has this horse had 3 actual rider outs? Well, yeah, they have.
Of course he did. The horse scored 50 all 3 times, first 3 trips out. Oh.
I think they just give them the benefit of the doubt. How about that?
Yeah.
Sure.
But
all right.
But so where are they supposed to get them out? Are they supposed to get them out of now? We went from a contractor could maybe take them horses to high school rodeo or college rodeo. Well, now college rodeo don't want them, so now they're gonna take them to a high school rodeo and kill them kids off. I mean, we're already short on bareback riders as it is,
and then we're just chili whopping the ones that are thinking about starting.
Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword, but these dummies that we have now really help. Everybody kind of has a different kind of a dummy, and there's more dummy bucking. There's the futurity deal. Like I have the little girl in Colorado, Caitlin Hayes, who bought a little filly from me that when people found out about it and Pete Carr got the video, he called me and was wanting that little filly. I said, well, you're going to have to call Caitlin. She owns her now. And, I think I'm going to send a few more to her. She wants to haul them around, play the little futurity game a little bit. And, I want to play it a little bit too, but I have too many other things going on. So when I'm old and retired, then I might go play that game a little bit.
Residual.
But no, things have changed a lot from the old days. But you think about, the bareback riding is the lowest number, the lowest entered event. But that used to be the event where, like right over here at Otis Jennings' place, the indoor over here. Used to back in the day, these college kids from here at Garden would go over there and get on, and there might be 5 or 6 bull riders and a couple of bareback riders go over there. Well, they'd take a truck. There'd be truckloads of other kids that would go with them, football players and baseball, just other whoever
wanted to get on.
And they'd go over and get on, you had to fight to get on, and they paid to get on. They paid $20 an out to get on.
To climb on, yeah.
Yeah. And
Just to say they did.
now we're begging for kids to come get on somewhere. But them used to be the events where the bareback riding. That was the easiest thing to do. All you had to have was a glove, run it in that rig, and hang on.
Strap yourself in and go on.
But now in our region of college rodeo, that's the two lower numbered events. We have more bronc riders than bull riders or bareback riders.
Okay, so I think we're ready to wrap it up. But have you seen an increase in breakaway roping entries?
We've always had the numbers around in this world has always been quite a few. It has grown a little bit, but it's always been a big deal. I grew up in the Texas Panhandle going to TCRA rodeos. And
I just kind of wonder now if young girls are seeing those opportunities and starting to rope where maybe they wouldn't have before.
I think so. I know we saw it out here when I was coaching at Fresno, 16, 17, 18. I mean, our numbers went from 50 breakaway ropers by the time in 3 years, I think we're close to 90. I mean, if you had a decent barrel horse and you roped good, you could go to college rodeo out here on the West Coast and make some money. Those were the two events where if you tapped off on a weekend, it was dang sure worth it.
Yeah. I think we'll see it. I mean, I think we'll see an increase. Those young girls that,
Well, and you look at it, it's like
two opportunities now.
Exactly. And it's like I tell my daughters. I was like, hey, we're not getting in the barrel horse game unless one of our head horses or ranch horses just happens to be a very, 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 very good diamond in the rough. But we can make rope horses. We can go. We've got access to over, to horses that we can make into breakaway horses. And I think that's the market right now for those rope horse trainers. You don't have to make them stop and work a rope. All you have to do is break hard, flat, and stop. You don't have to
Well, and if you have a defunct calf horse that won't work the rope anymore, but sure and heck, can stop hard.
Yeah.
You have another option too. Well, I could talk about that for a long time. So
I'll try to get a bareback roper on.
Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. That was a good show today. I think I'm excited to watch Garrett and see where he goes next year. I think it'll be fun to watch him kind of expand his career after that award. That's pretty awesome.
Nowhere up after being on this show.
What'd you say?
Nowhere but up after being on here.
We're opening doors and creating opportunities for everybody that comes on our show.
Yes. That's what we do. All right. I know you have an appointment, Tony, so let us know how that goes.
I'll keep you all posted.
Jim Boy, as usual, thank you so much for joining us. And you guys have a wonderful day.
You too, Heidi. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. That is our complete wrap-up of round 7 and all the important things. Clearly, we've covered all of them here. For those of you guys that maybe have some more time or you're aching to see what else is going on, we're going to come back here at 11 o'clock. We're going to go live for a special edition of NFR Hangover, and we're going to check out some of the shopping venues. Con Williams Studio is going to be available at 11, and we're going to talk to him about the bronze process. Let me throw this up here. We did talk about this bronze a little bit earlier in the week. This is the one that needs a name. So for anybody that's tuning in and didn't catch this, scroll down on the Facebook page of Bullfrog Creatives and you'll see this post. We have naming rights for this lovely piece. So go ahead and post your idea for a name. And we're going to speak to the artist a little bit later today, 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So tune in for that. Again, we're going to give a shout out to Cinch Jeans and Shirts. We appreciate their support on this platform. But also for NFR Hangover, and of course Williams Studio. Will give them a shout out, and we will be back at 11 o'clock to check in with them. You guys have a wonderful day. We will see you tomorrow.
Perfection almost looks easy. But it isn't. Here's to those who go the distance.